have to go. It's always for me been Charlotte. She's amazing. I would kill to get to wrestle her, but I'd also like to wrestle Becky Lynch a lot. Those are the two that are always like I want to be able to work with them. So
I ain't trying to wrestle none of them. I'm trying to wrestle Bianca Belair.
Oh, Bianca?
Yeah, or we become a tag team and it can be called the Swollest.
The Swollest?
The most Swollest, because she's the EST of NXT, and I'm Big Swole, just in case that went over. Yo,
someone make that happen.
Someone book it. I was gonna say, it'd be cool to face Becky Lynch since she's on fire right now. Like, she's blowing up, and that's awesome for her. And, you know, I never had my match against Shayna with me as the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Spades. I want that match. Someone book it. Queen of Hearts versus the Queen of Spades. Let's do this.
Love it. Alright guys, any more questions for these gorgeous ladies? Yeah. Okay, I'll come. It might take me a while. You just talk amongst yourselves. We'll do this. We'll do this. Why not? There we go.
dedication.
Thank you. In your opinion, who do you think is the most underrated woman in wrestling today?
Who is the most underrated?
Who's the most underrated wrestler
in the business right now?
You can't say yourself.
Me! Oh my god.
You can't say yourselves, girls.
I've got one. I was just racking my brain. I don't know.
Can't say Zachary either.
I'm not. It's a woman. And he's on Impact and stuff now. He's good. But I was thinking. Have you guys heard of Hot Scoop Skylar? Hot Scoop Skylar. She's from the Rhode Island area, but she's.
I've heard of her.
Yeah, Skylar. She's new, upcoming. She's she just dyed it dark. Fire red hair is what I used to remember her by, but she's really, really good. I think she's been wrestling for maybe 2 years at this point, but she's gonna be a front runner soon. Give her some time.
I have a couple answers. I think one of the most underrated people who I enjoy working so much, and he doesn't get the credit that he deserves, though he is up and coming, so I'm excited about that. Effie is one of my all-time favorites.
Good one. Effie.
Every time I've wrestled him, I've had so much fun, and he makes me look like a superstar, and he is a superstar, so Effie's for everyone. Female-wise, you know, she is really growing up, and I don't think people really realize that. Solo Darlin, she started training with Quack, and all the stuff she's learning from Quack, she's applying it to her matches, and people are like, oh wow, when did you learn that? She's been doing that now for a couple of years, but people just haven't. The thing is, she's not on platforms for people to see that. So I believe she's underrated because people are saying that she has learned a lot, and her gimmick is changing. She's growing up a lot, so I definitely feel like she's super underrated because she has a lot going up here, but you don't know that. So, but yeah.
I think underrated is an interesting sort of way of describing wrestlers because they're not necessarily underrated. It's just wrestlers you haven't discovered yet. So like, I mean, I can say 100 British wrestlers to these guys, and they've never heard of them. You go to England, and everyone in wrestling in England's heard of them. It's a sort of where you are. Do you know what I mean? Not like so underrated. Alright, so I want to ask Melina a question, actually, because you're one of the very rare people that I can ask this to, because you've been both a Divas champion and a women's champion, in the traditional sense. So how did you feel when they changed the belt's name over to the Divas champion at the time? How did you feel?
It made me sick. It made me sick. I mean, I appreciate the Divas title for existing, for what it is. A title is a title and that's it. But the thing is with the women's championship, everybody that I watched growing up, like when I watched a woman win the title, when I watched Trish, when I watched Chyna, when I watched Lita, they held that title. So whenever I held that title and I won it, it was like, these people that I looked up to held the same exact title. And it's such a beautiful thing to see that everything that you worked so hard for came to that one moment, and to see just pushed aside and then to get rid of it, that killed me. It killed me because it's like throwing away history. You don't do that. You don't disrespect history, the people who worked so hard to build this title for what it is. So I wish they kept that title, and instead of bringing back a new one, I wish they brought back the old one. Because, to see the people in the past that they held that's a beautiful thing to see.
Definitely. And Zeda, I actually have a question for you as well. So your training really began when you got signed to the WWE. So how did you find your training there versus your training working the independents after you've been at the PC? Did you find them different? Did you prefer one to the other?
It was definitely very different. I feel like with the independent training, because of my background with sports and MMA, I know exactly what I need to learn, where I'm lacking, and I can go seek those training out. Whereas there, I understand at the Performance Center, there's a lot of people they have to tend to. It's very busy, and I'm lucky if I even get much ring time. So I'm a very hands-on learner, and I have to be in there doing it. So during my time in the independence, it's nice having that freedom to book my schedule and be able to wrestle all the time and really learn hands-on rather than watching and just hearing how it's supposed to be done, but not allowing my body to be put through it. But it's really nice being able to be in there and see it from such a high caliber. So now I'm really enjoying being able to see both sides of it and just picking and choosing everything from every style and everywhere and just putting it together to be my own.
Excellent. Okay, have we got any other questions in the audience? I'm going to scan this way. Anyone who hasn't asked questions already? Are we over here? Oh, I'm sorry. I had my back to you.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
My question for you is, this goes all by. When I started seeing mixed wrestling, you started seeing that more on YouTube. But what do you think is the differences between just wrestling with female versus female, but switching that to female versus male if you ever been through that match?
So how do you find the difference between wrestling male versus wrestling female? Yeah? Do you find it different? Do you wrestle the same?
I just wrestle wrestlers.
Right.
If somebody is a talented wrestler, then that is what I'm wrestling. I don't like, if you know me at all, intergender or something, I fight for big because I am a wrestler and I want to be looked at as such. I don't want to be looked at as this commodity just because I might have some different chromosomes than some other people. Women should be looked at as the same as the men. Women can do everything the men can do, sometimes better, and getting to see that come to fruition more and more. It's even another thing, like WWE doing the mixed match challenges now too. Like that's another little step towards intergender wrestling being accepted. And another thing I do with that is one of the characters I have when I wrestle at Chikara is I'm the princess that saves herself. So it's all about a message of you don't need somebody else to take care of you. You can do it too by yourself.
I have noticed that with wrestling males, I am able to do moves that I'm not able to do when I'm wrestling females, just because of strength alone. I can take a little bit more risks when I'm wrestling males versus wrestling females. Like, we're all the same, but at the same time, I know for a fact that this male has a better chance of catching me than this one female does, and that's just genetics. But it's both the same. Real easy to work either one. It's just the move set changes a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to men, when wrestling men, they're stronger, they're able to do better and everything. But when it comes with women, I feel like women are more, we have this, we're feistier. There's more energy, like this cat-like energy coming from everybody. So when we're working with women, there's this like intensity behind it. It's not just strength, it's just like this animalistic like fire. And that's why I like working with women. I'm like, yeah, girls crazy. I feel the energy more. And men just don't get that. They're just like, boom, like I'm strong. Oh my god, give me crazy energy.
So I don't know if any of you guys found it, but when I was first training, I trained with a lot of men. And then I went to wrestle women, and I had a big learning curve because I trained only with men. Like then when, like Ariel said, like the moves were different. Did any of you find that?
Yeah, I trained with mostly men at High Spots in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it was very interesting to go in and like have my first matches, and it's like you're wrestling women, and it's like, oh wait a minute, I can't do this, I can't do this, and I can't do this, and you're just, honestly, I felt like I was on a little bit of a different level than other people who were just as green as I was at the time. I mean, I'm super green, really. Back then I was super green, super neon green. And it was just like, I felt like I had a little bit more of an advantage because I was so used to working with men and I wasn't scared to do certain things. And, you know, my first day of training, I had to take a hip toss and a stalling suplex. You know, with men, they're like, yep, you know, you do the same thing we do.
Yep, same with me. I was Drew Gulak's first female student he ever had, so I didn't even have the option of training with another female. But he did not care that I was the only female there, and if it was, we're learning how to do body slam days, you can bet I was still picking him up and giving him body slams because he would not let me not do it. And I agree with you, I think that gave me an advantage in the long run because then I would get to where I was wrestling women and I ended up being a stronger base, so I can protect them and myself, and it's all because I had to work with the men to start.
I was like yesterday when you asked me to do a tilt-a-whirl, and I looked at you crazy like, you base me for a tilt-a-whirl? Can I? I'm big swole, I can base it right here.
Yep, you did. I actually had kind of the best, I don't know if it's the best of both worlds, that's not the right thing, but I had both worlds. I trained with the Dudley boys, we had a lot of men, so I wrestled with a lot of men, but we also had a few women, so I was able to get in there with, honestly, women of all sizes. I had a couple that were a little bit bigger than me, but then I also had, I don't know if you guys remember, Rosie Love, what was her? Rosie Love TNA. I can't remember her other work name. And Andrea the Amazon. She's really tall and big. So it was like wrestling a man. So a lot of my female matches were against her. So it was big man, little man. So I was still doing the big man, little man thing. But there were a couple other girls that were in the class that were near my side. So I had the fortunate pleasure of getting to work with someone kind of my size and stature, but I would also get in there and work with the biggest guys as well, because Bubba and Devon, especially Bubba, you gotta get in there, you gotta take it just like a man. If you're gonna wrestle like a man, you gotta take it like a man. So, yeah, chop class is fun with Bubba. I had a handprint on my chest for a week. So, yeah.
Yep. I guess my story was a little bit different, because like we're the same, like where I feel like most all girls or all women, we're rarities in the business. So most of the time, like we're the only women in our schools. Like for me, it was the same way. If you ever found another female in your school, it was like, oh hallelujah! You're like, oh my God, there's finally another girl.
Best friends forever.
Finally, yes. But for me, it was a culture shock, like, or it was a shock for me to start working with women because I was used to being like, being thrown around and everything because they get to pick you up. They're like, I was always the one that was getting thrown around and being in the baseboard and everything. So it was a shock to finally feel the difference of working with a female because sometimes and back in our time it was different. Like sometimes you don't know if they're going to be snug or not, or if they can take if they can take contact or not. So you have to get used to their what they're able to contribute and stuff like that. And it was totally different. Like with the guys, you can wail on them, like it's like they don't get hurt. But when it comes to other females, sometimes you don't know how much they can take. So it was like a big difference for me. So I don't know, but it was. I learned to change my style because I never knew if they could base me for something or if anything. So I always kept my style of wrestling that anybody could take it. Like anybody, whether you're tall, short, if you're a base or you're not a base. So I changed my style for that.
That's smart. Very smart. Anybody else with questions? Do you guys want to come up in front? What?
The girl, the Harley Quinn, she had her hand up over here.
Come on to the front, Sally.
Okay, sure.
I love your Harlequin. How cute is that?
Oh. Oh, it's okay.
Were any of you in a band? She plays the drums.
She plays the drums. Has any of you ever been in a band before?
I have not been in a band, but I do know how to play the drums as well. And I dabble in the guitar and play the piano as well.
Nice.
So yeah, I should be in a band.
I was in a band from 5th grade until I graduated high school, and I played the flute. So.
Oh, I played the flute.
Yeah, I was in a band from grade school through college. I was alto sax, tenor sax, bari sax, and French horn and mellophone.
I didn't play any instruments, but I am a vocalist, so I sung.
You still sing.
No, I wish I was. I remember I did my
Guys around
parents
here.
had me to the accordion at one point. It was horrible. Like, oh my goodness, tiny little me with this big accordion. I couldn't do it. I was like, it was the worst week of my life. I quit that really like soon after. I was like, can't do it. I'm a big fan of people who do play music or any instrument.
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a good talent to have as well. I didn't know that about you guys. Have you got a question?
Yeah, what's y'all's favorite wrestling move that you like to do?
Your favorite wrestling
Move.
move.
All right, question. Is it one that we do, one in general, or one we've taken?
Either
And
or.
we have three different
Either or.
answers.
Either or. What's your favorite? All three of them. Answer all three. Why not? Let's do this. So what's your favorite move to take? What's your favorite move to do? And what's your favorite move that somebody else does?
My favorite move to take is Lisa Marie's Widow's Peak. I only took it once, man. I only took it once, and it was like the awesomest thing ever. I was like, yes, finally! I loved it.
I would say favorite move I've taken, just because it was such a cool moment, was when I took the Styles Clash from AJ Styles. That was a good one.
You think the Styles Clash from AJ Styles?
Yes, I did.
What?
Yeah, it's CZW.
That's pretty dope. I don't think there's anything that
I
can
got
top
picture
that.
I think that one of my favorite moves I've ever given, just because it was my first one ever, and you always remember your first, and then with who it was, now he's blown up. My first Canadian Destroyer was on Pete Dunne. It was the greatest thing of all time. Like, when I gave it to him, of course I mean, but when I gave it to him, I landed it, and I literally I did it! I was so proud that I was able to do that move. So there you go. My first Canadian Destroyer was on Pete Dunne. So there you go. That's the one I've given. I'm trying to figure out what I've taken. Give me a second.
The Taken, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure my favorite move Taken, but the one I like giving would probably be my finisher, which is the Northern Lights Bomb, which is why it's my finisher. And then also I just did a Canadian Destroyer, and that was fun. I like that one. Canadian Destroyers.
Well, you Americans do like your Canadian destroyers. I've like met so many wrestlers over here who go, oh, Canadian destroyers are great. And I'm like, oh, you're insane.
My favorite, I don't have a favorite move to give or anything like, well, yeah, I kind of do. My favorite bump to take is an apron bump. For out of all the things, I love, like, I'm throwing the leg, someone catches it, and they sweep, and I have to take the full face bump right there. And it's like I take it so nasty, and it just sounds great. So I love taking that bump. It's really good for me. And then the move I love giving is I do this thing I learned from Donnie Yen. I don't know if anybody knows who Donnie Yen is, but Donnie Yen is the man when it comes to martial arts. And he had this one move in Ip Man where he, I'm about to show it to you. Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you. It was like a little kick combo.
Oh, big Skull's getting serious. Fanny pack is off.
He went like this, and I do it into a headbutt.
Oh, and the microphone's down.
The person when I do it, they gotta duck, and then they
I've done that with you so many times.
Yeah. Like getting the timing down is ridiculous, but it goes so quick. You're like, ooh, oh, headbutt, and then we both like sail back, and it's like, oh, everybody loves a good headbutt.
I love it. Yeah, I love that move.
Okay, do you want to ask him?
This question's for all 5 of you. How old do you think he is?
Boy, at least 30. 75. Okay, he looks like 20. No, he's 19. All right, I was close.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was like, the lamb chops almost got me, but then I looked and I saw the Similac still on his mouth. So I was like, oh, he young. That boy young. He look young. You got braces?
Yeah, he has braces.
Okay, so yeah, boom, I can see him from here. He's young. He's cute though. Congratulations. Everybody ain't got a cute face. Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
I think that's the best question of the night. Has anyone else got a question? You got a little
Have you ever like made a boy cry in the rain?
Have you ever made a boy cry in the rain?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yes, I powerbombed this man through a chair from the top rope, and he definitely cried.
Oh yeah, I did that with Effie. I gave him a Pepsi plunge through a bunch of chairs.
Pepsi.
He kind of slightly died. It was great. A Pepsi plunge, you guys don't know what that is? It's a pedigree from the top turnbuckle through a bunch of chairs. Face bump through chairs. There you go.
Take back to your daughter. Hit boys with chairs to make them cry.
Yeah, always make the dudes cry, girl, for a living. Always make the dudes cry. You're beautiful. You're gonna make guys cry. Congratulations.
I was wondering, in your all's tenure, who is the hardest person to work with, either by attitude or athletic ability?
Who's the most difficult person you had to wrestle and why? So either through
call people out.
attitude or skill. Melinda, you must have a good one for this one.
No, the thing is that it doesn't matter what your background is, the level of knowledge or anything like that. The most difficult person to work with is a person who doesn't want to collaborate with you. Everybody could say like, oh, well, she was too green or this and this and that. No, you can take the people who are green and still make an incredible story. You can have an amazing match. The person that you have a crappy match with is a person who does not want to accept your ideas and doesn't want to work with you. That's what kills me. Whenever people start complaining, no, that's not the case. It's just being able to collaborate with someone. You can make magic happen with anybody. That's the beauty of wrestling. You can tell any story in this ring. Like you can. It's just true. Just want to, if they want to work with you, that's it.
I'll tell you what, the hardest hitting person that I've had in the ring was my really good friend. I call her Lil Swole. Her name is Nicole Savoy. She lays it in, and I absolutely love it because I love it when people make contact with me. Just like, yeah, ooh, may I have another? Come on. Like, yes.
I think the thing is with wrestling, we entrust our bodies to our partners. It's our opponent, but technically it's your dance partner. So you are trusting yourself with them, and they are trusting themselves with you. So it's not like really, if you gotta like each other. You got to, for the most part, you gotta be able to be both.